Okay, so I'm tearing into the Jeep again. Like I said, I'm going to try and identify the source of that squealing, whistling, chirping noise myself if I can. So anyway, I was thinking about this the other day, and if you remember 3 or 4 months ago when I first showed you guys the sound that it's making, my hypothesis was that it's either a pulley going bad somewhere already, or it's some kind of air motion that's whistling, maybe a vacuum leak, intake leak, something, you know, where air is being squeezed through somewhere it's not supposed to be, and it's making that whistling. One of the two is what it sounded like to me. Obviously, we kind of drifted toward the pulley idea because that's just the most common thing, but now that this has had 3 separate Mopar brand pulleys put on it, and it hasn't made any difference at all, now I'm kind of thinking, okay, well, let's go investigate the other idea that I had, which was air movement. So that's why I'm messing around here with the PCV valve today. But I want to show you guys some things about this because I learned something new today. Right, let me show you guys something that's new that I've noticed. So if you've ever changed out the PCV valve on one of these 3.6 liter Pentastar engines, you know that it's back here on the passenger side on the back of the valve cover, right? Well, for years and years and years, the way that it worked is it had a little tab on it, and you would reach back there with a screwdriver and hold that tab up and then turn the whole valve like 45 degrees or something, and it would pop out the back, right? Well, I started looking at my Wrangler, and it appears that they have totally redesigned this thing. Let me go over here and use my handy dandy trash can workbench so I can show you this. So now they have gone to a method of using 2 little screws. You notice that this one does not have that tab that used to be at the top up here. This is where the tab roughly was located. And like I said, you would just pry it up and then turn this thing and it would pop out. They've totally changed all this. So these 2 little screws are going to be a T25. And because of where it's located, which is right down here against the firewall, of course, there's no way to get a T25 screwdriver in there. So what I ended up doing is I used my electric ratchet. Of course, it's a 3/8 drive, so I had to use an adapter, and got a T25 socket on there. Now I was able to go underneath the Jeep and come up from the bottom and get the one that's on the inside. And then the one that's on the outside, I had to just use wherever it went to. It's up there. Had to just use a little bitty ratchet and go over here on the outside screw. Now, neither one of these screws were very tight, and I can understand why, because they are a total pain in the rear end to get to. But that's what you're going to run into, apparently. I don't know when they changed this, because that 2020 Grand Cherokee that I had was not like this. So I'm guessing that they changed this method of screwing this thing in there at some point over the last 2 or 3 years, maybe. So I'm waiting on the new one to be delivered. From Rock Auto, the only one you can get is a Mopar, which I thought was kind of odd, but now I'm kind of understanding why, because they've obviously redesigned it. So I guess none of the aftermarket companies are making one like this just yet. So you'll have to buy the Mopar one. Unfortunately, it's almost $50 for this stupid thing. But I'm thinking this could be the culprit. This might be why this thing is whistling, because I noticed today that the squealing, chirping, whatever kind of noise, you know, however you want to describe it, it's still doing that. But I noticed today when I backed in the garage here that it kind of changes pitch with engine RPM. I hadn't really noticed it do that before, and now it's kind of going up and down in pitch and tone a little bit, you know, as the engine RPM changes. So that's starting to make me think that my original idea of it's either a pulley or it's some kind of air movement may be correct. Maybe, you know, we've been leaning toward the pulleys. Maybe it actually is some kind of air movement. You know, I thought maybe it's got a vacuum leak somewhere. Maybe the intake manifold is leaking air. Maybe it's this PCV valve. That's what I'm hoping. Maybe it's something like that, some kind of air movement that's causing that whistle when the engine gets hot. So that's why I'm swapping this out. I'm going to give it a shot and put the new one in there, see if it changes anything. If not, then we'll keep searching. Now, one thing that I have noticed about this valve is I can put my mouth on there and I can blow air through it and suck air through it freely in both directions. Now, my understanding of a PCV valve is that it's supposed to be a one-way valve, right? It's supposed to have a check valve in there so that air only flows one way. But like I said, air is flowing freely both directions through this one. So I'm thinking it could be bad. And I have to really shake it hard to hear anything clicking in there inside, any moving valves or parts. So maybe this is the culprit, and we're going to find out soon enough. But I'm having a little bit of a fear of putting the new one in because of those little screws. They're so hard to get to, but we'll get it done, and I'll let you know how that goes. So I finally got the new PCV valve. I ordered this from Rock Auto. Like I said, the Mopar one is the only game in town right now. I guess because of the redesign is all I can figure. But I've noticed that when I put my mouth on this one, I can blow through it and suck through it freely both directions, just like the one that was in my Jeep. So I guess maybe I didn't have a proper understanding of exactly how these things work. Maybe they are thermal. Maybe when they heat up, they're supposed to start becoming more of a one-way valve. I don't know. But anyhow, I've got it now, so let's put it in there and see what happens. I'm gonna get up in here and take this old one out here real quick. I mean, I have it loose. I kind of set it back in here just so that bugs and things wouldn't crawl up in the back of the valve cover. You know what I mean? Oh goodness, but apparently it got stuck in there pretty tight again. So yeah, I just kind of set it back in there as a placeholder. Anyway, so in looking at these two things though, let me show you something here. So this is the new one that I just bought. Can you see the difference? There is an obvious difference in that diaphragm there on the front. So obviously the hole is much larger on the one that was in my Jeep. Now otherwise, they appear to be identical to me. You know, they've got the same slot in the top, double O-rings. I don't know if the camera is going to show that, but when I look down inside there, it looks identical. There's like no difference whatsoever other than what you see there in the front of it. So that's kind of interesting. Let me take a look here at these part numbers that are stamped on both of them, and that's identical. It ends in an 8886 AC. That's what the part number ends with on both. So interesting, very interesting. The only difference being right here. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to put this new one in and see if that makes any difference. See if that kind of cures the issue, but time will tell. So putting this thing into the back of the valve cover there is a little bit of a pain, but the part that's really a pain, let me see if I can get the camera over here in a more desirable position so that you can kind of see a little bit more of what's going on here. Maybe, maybe not. But basically putting this thing in there is not too bad. It's the screws. That's the part that's kind of a pain. So I got to get up on the front bumper and support myself, and then we'll slide this valve down in here. You know what? Before I do that, let me put a little bit of oil on these O-rings here. Let me do that real quick because I don't want to booger up these brand new O-rings when I stick them in there. So let me oil these down real fast. I got a little oil right here, and that will help these things slide in there. Okay, That's better. All right, let's try that. All right, now I'm wondering, as I'm doing this here, I'm wondering exactly why it is that they redesigned this. But you know, the thought that went through my mind is, I wonder if they did it to try and make it easier, you know? Because, oh man, that one's tight. A lot of people were complaining about that tab that used to be on the old design and how hard it was to hold that up and twist that thing out. So maybe they redesigned this thing because in their mind it was going to make it a little easier. But it's still pretty tough. So I got to get down in here. I'm going to put the camera away for a minute and push that straight in. Because of the redesign, this one doesn't have to twist. So you just push it straight in, put those 2 screws back in, and then I'm going to pop that hose back on the top. And then we'll drive this thing and see what happens. So that wasn't much fun, but I finally got that screwed in. Now, by the way, the other end, here, let me show you. The other end of the hose, right down there, the other end of that works just like this one right here. It works exactly the same way, where you've got this gray tab here, and all you do is press in on that, and then it'll come off. So when you put it back on, you don't have to press it. You just click it into place. So that's how it works on the other end of the PCV valve over there. So like I was saying, I finally did. There it is. I finally did get the new one in there. Those screws are not real easy to get to, guys. Like I said, I ended up using my electric ratchet with the T25 socket, and I was able to do the inside screw from the bottom of the Jeep. And then the outside screw I did from the top up here. And whew, man, I'm still out of breath. I had to use my little bitty ratchet to do that. So now all we got to do is test drive this thing and see if that made any difference at all. Well, I've been out doing a road test, and I do not hear that whistling, squealing noise at all. I think I have completely fixed it. So that's what it was. It was the PCV valve. It's frustrating that the dealership couldn't figure that out. I mean, it took me about maybe 30 to 45 minutes tops in terms of labor. Parts $50 and it's fixed. It doesn't squeal or whistle at all now. I just drove it all the way to town, drove it around a little bit, drove it back home, and you just saw that video clip. She's as quiet as can be now, just like it should be, you know, at a brand new vehicle. So at this point, it's funny because yesterday the dealership texted me. You know how they do, you know, they always want to know how your experience was. Please rate us, let us know how we're doing, that kind of thing. So yesterday I got a text message from a girl over at the dealership who is, I can't remember her exact title. It's like customer satisfaction advisor or whatever, I don't know. Anyway, she's over that program where they try to find out, you know, how customers feel about their experience over there. And I told her, I said, well, I'm frustrated, honestly, because I had this annoying squealing noise coming from the Jeep. I took it over to the dealership. I showed the service writer. As soon as I got there with the engine running and the thing squealing like a stuck pig, I went in and got the service writer and showed him so that he knew exactly what I was talking about. And they still had the Jeep for a week and a half, which was crazy. And then when I picked it up, it was making the exact same noise. You know, I explained all that to her and she said, well, I'm sorry. You know, I'll go talk to our head guy and see if we can, you know, do something for you. I haven't heard from her since. So what I'm going to do now that it's fixed is I'm going to text her back and I'm going to say, if you guys want to make it right, here's what you can do. I've got an hour labor in this, and I've got $50 worth of parts in this. So let's call it a $150 repair that I did on my dime. If you guys can reimburse me for that, we'll call it fair. How about that? Because that's what the dealership should have done when I took the thing over there to start with. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, it's fixed. So if you've got a squealing, whistling, chirping, weird noise coming from the engine of your Jeep, you might want to check your PCV valve. Kind of odd, but I guess that happens sometimes. So there you go. Strange, but that's what it was. Now I can move on to other things like this water heater that decided to start leaking on us yesterday. I tell you, it never ends. All right, guys, just wanted to update you on this. Got something accomplished at least. And hopefully the Jeep will be good to go now for a long time. We'll talk to you later.